What if everything you believed about Apple and Samsung was a lie? For years, we've been told that Apple and Samsung are arch enemies, locked in an intense battle for smartphone dominance. Lawsuits, aggressive marketing, and loyal fan wars have made it seem like these two companies are out to destroy each other, match on each other, and make sure that only one of them stands tall as the #1 smartphone company in the whole world. But what if that's exactly what they want us to believe? What if this entire rivalry is just a carefully planned game, a strategy to keep us hyped, a strategy to keep us fighting, choosing sides, and spending more money on their products? Let's go back to the beginning. Apple and Samsung have been competing for over a decade. It all started when Samsung entered the smartphone market, directly challenging Apple's iPhone dominance. Apple wasn't happy. In 2011, they sued Samsung for copying the iPhone's design, kicking off one of the most infamous legal battles in tech history. As many of you may know, Samsung ended up paying Apple a huge sum of money.
In May, a jury decided Samsung should pay Apple over $500 million in damages after an earlier jury ruled Samsung infringed on some smartphone patents way back in 2012.
That's a big sign that these two companies are really enemies, right? It's a sign, right? Probably not. The lawsuits dragged on for years, with Apple and Samsung fighting over patents, software, and who really invented what. Fans took sides, arguing in online forums, debating in coffee shops, and turning the Apple versus Samsung battle into a global spectacle. But here's where things get weird. Despite all the lawsuits, the insults, and the patent wars, Samsung was secretly making iPhone parts the entire time. Yes, you heard me right. I said that despite all these wars, despite all the hate that existed, Samsung was busy helping Apple to make parts of the iPhone. Can you imagine that? While Apple was suing Samsung in court, the same Apple was also buying from Samsung during the battle. How does that sound to you? How does that make you feel? Does that sound like a real rivalry to you? Or a battle that is carefully planned specifically for the fans? Even today, even right now, as you watch this video, Samsung manufactures some of the most important parts for iPhones. They produce OLED screens for the iPhone 14 and iPhone 15, providing Apple with the technology that makes their displays so stunning. Samsung has also supplied Apple with memory chips and processors in the past. But they do all these while hating on each other in the public, criticizing each other, and making fun of their commercials. So let's think about this for a second. Would you really buy parts from a company you were trying to destroy? Would you do business with your so-called enemy? The truth is, this rivalry isn't about destroying each other, it's about keeping us engaged. The fan wars, the constant debates, the viral comparisons, it's all free advertising, and the best part is, we do it for them. All for free. Imagine if Apple and Samsung suddenly stopped competing. No more lawsuits, no more Twitter wars, no more questions like, which phone is better? Do you know what would happen? People would stop caring. The hype would die. But as long as there's an ongoing war, as long as fans are picking sides and defending their favorite brand, both companies win. Think about how every new iPhone or Samsung release is positioned. Apple releases an iPhone, Samsung instantly mocks them in ads. Samsung drops a new Galaxy phone, Apple fans laugh at their gimmicks. Tech reviewers make endless comparisons. Fans fight in the comments. And what happens in the end? People buy more phones. Apple gets to be the premium, exclusive brand. Samsung positions itself as the tech innovator. And while their fans are busy arguing, both companies are cashing in. Here's the final piece of the puzzle. If Apple and Samsung were truly bitter rivals, their CEOs would probably never be seen together. Right? Well, guess what? Tim Cook and Samsung executives have been spotted having meetings. They negotiate behind closed doors, making deals that keep both companies rich, and the fans, they never even realize it. So what do you think? Is the Apple versus Samsung war real, or is it just a well-crafted illusion? Could it be that these two tech giants are secretly working together while making us believe they're enemies? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Are you Team iPhone or Team Samsung, or do you think we've all been played?